Welcome to In Lawrence, a show all about one of Metro Indy's most unique communities. We've spent the past year chronicling the character of this community, its challenges, its setbacks, its many successes. We're going to get to all of that, but we begin with what makes Lawrence its own. It didn't take long to learn that Lawrence is truly a melting pot of diversity in just about every way. On the second floor of Matthew's Bicycle Shop.
That's probably a 1966, 67 Schwinn Fastback Stingray.
Steve Southwood and Gary Woodruff are enjoying a nostalgic trip back in time.
I bought my first bicycle right here in 1977.
And much like the bikes have changed over the years here, so too has the city that's grown up around it. It is a community decidedly its own.
Lawrence people are fiercely independent. They enjoy that autonomy of having their own small town. We have the best of both worlds.
Inside Marion County, but carved outside Indianapolis, with its own mayor, town council, and character.
We are literally a melting pot.
Ethnically diverse, but in many ways with a small town feel. Home to one of the state's largest school districts, and long home to the Fort Benjamin Harrison military base, known around here as Fort Ben. After closing in 1996, community leaders launched a massive project to redevelop the area, and nearly 30 years later,
Lawrence has evolved quite a bit.
The area is now considered this city's downtown district, including shops, restaurants, and a park with trails and a golf course. Like any community, Lawrence has had successes and setbacks. Those who work and live here say it's all part of a story they are still proud to tell.
Along with some of that growth comes challenge, but anytime there is challenge, there's also opportunity that goes along with that.
Like many communities, one of the issues Lawrence is facing is affordable housing. I recently talked with a local family here trying to build the American dream and refusing to give up.
Kylia, this is the oldest one.
As a single mother, Precious Benning is doing everything she can to give her 3 kids a better future.
The kids nowadays, if you see the kids nowadays, they're shooting each other, they're on drugs, they're, I want my kids to have an education. I want them to go be something in life.
And that's why, for 3 months,
I go to the 3-bedroom right here.
She's been looking for a place to live in Lawrence. Why here?
Because their schoolings. I love their schools. I like the education that they give the kids, the attention that they give them.
There's just one problem.
Housing. For a 3-bedroom, 1.5 bathroom, it's only 936 square feet. That's no room. That's literally a box.
And how much a month?
$1,300. $1,300 a month.
Does that surprise you?
No, unfortunately, rental prices have been going up since the pandemic.
Fair housing advocates like Amy Nelson tell me while rent in many metro areas around the country have stabilized since the pandemic, it has yet to happen here.
Because we have such a housing crisis going on in our state. There's not enough affordable rental opportunities that are available to people.
Especially, she says, in Lawrence, where out-of-state investors are coming in to buy homes and then flip them into expensive rentals. This year, the Fair Housing Center of Central Indiana published a study that found more than 6 in every 10 single-family rental properties in Lawrence are owned by out-of-state investors. Nelson says in many cases, those properties are purchased with cash, squeezing out would-be first-time homebuyers or low-income families who'd need a mortgage.
This is a statewide problem with these companies that have been targeting Indiana for years because they see it as affordable housing options that they can purchase quick and easy and have very little accountability.
For Precious Benning,
it's beyond frustrating.
But she's not giving up. She says her children's education is too important.
It's depressing. It makes you feel like you want to cry every day, but I don't, because I have to stay strong for my kids.
Now to another housing challenge. Evictions can unfortunately cost you more than a home. They can sometimes follow you for a lifetime. But a new program here in Lawrence is working to make a difference. They're trying to bring renters and landlords together to work things out. Like many others about to head into this Lawrence Township courtroom, times have gotten tough for Brittany Bittner. After moving into a rental, her roommate moved out.
I couldn't afford the rent by myself. So.
Leaving her on the hook.
I tried to get my lease terminated, and I don't know if there was miscommunication or something, but now we're getting evicted.
But here, she's hoping to avoid eviction and the consequences that can follow for years. And Judge Kimberly Bacon is on the bench to help.
We look at ways to assist people to avoid evictions.
The Lawrence Township Eviction Diversion Program brings tenants and landlords together, meeting with a facilitator to negotiate a move-out date or a payment arrangement to stay.
If tenants are coming to court, landlords are coming to court, then they have the opportunity to have conversations that they might not otherwise get to have.
Indiana Legal Services is here to let tenants know what their rights are, and other advocates are on hand too to help them find financial assistance.
Information is power, and so most people don't know all of their rights or what is available.
And Judge Bacon says what began as a pilot program 2 years ago appears to be working. Court data shows since the eviction diversion program went into effect, nearly 90% of filed eviction cases were resolved without a judgment against the tenant. Today, that's the goal for tenants like Brittany.
I mean, I just didn't want my wages garnished. I didn't want them to think I was running from it, you know. I'm willing to pay my part. That's why I'm here.
Another success in Lawrence this year comes in the form of property values, specifically in minority neighborhoods. Homeowners say it's also not just about numbers, it's about equality. Brian Penn has lived on this street in Lawrence for 8 years, taking pride not only in his property,
I think it's important for all of us to stick together,
but his neighbors too.
Especially in a community that's on the rise.
Home values are exponentially growing for homeowners.
Rochelle Perkins is a local realtor who says she's seen values double, even triple in the last decade.
It's been amazing.
After losing value in the early 2000s, homes here in the predominantly black 46235 zip code have been gaining, up 105% since 2016. Across the country, home values in majority black zip codes are up 84% on average, growing faster than comparable homes in predominantly white communities. That's according to an analysis by State Line News. Fair housing advocates call it much-needed progress to help close a glaring gap in racial wealth. Here in America, much of our wealth comes from owning a home. Historically, though, that's been more difficult for communities of color. First, with redlining nearly a century ago when banks refused to give minority families a mortgage in certain areas of town, and more recently with something called appraisal bias. A study by Freddie Mac found more than 1 in 10 home appraisals in black and Latino neighborhoods resulted in a value below contract price, or what someone was willing to pay. In white neighborhoods, it happens less often. Just 2 years ago, Carlette Duffy of Indianapolis told us it happened to her.
It's like, here it is, there's evidence of it.
After 2 low appraisals, she hid her race, leaving that line of the form blank, even removing her family pictures and African-looking art. The next appraisal more than doubled.
I figured it would come back higher, but more than double?
Advocates say increased federal oversight and accountability, along with a housing shortage, are all helping today, no matter what's behind the numbers.
It's a beautiful thing to see the wealth gap closing, hopefully. There's still plenty of work to do, very large strides to make, but any movement in that gap, to see it start to close here in my hometown is beautiful.
Making the American dream a dream for all Americans. Another highlight in Lawrence this year is its new mayor. Marion County elected its first ever black female mayor in Deb Whitfield here in Lawrence, and it didn't take her long to start making her mark. In her first 100 days, she announced the creation of a new position to help veterans.
We live in the greatest country of all, you guys.
Drive through Lawrence, and it's hard to miss the red, white, and blue.
The Lawrence community of veterans is big.
Home to 2 VFW posts.
It's vibrant.
Plus the American Legion State Headquarters and the long-term legacy of Fort Benjamin Harrison.
Fort Ben created a lot of veteran families here.
So when Lawrence native Matt Hall learned the new mayor would be creating a position to help veterans,
you cared for all of us. Now it's our turn to care for you.
He knew he was ready and willing to serve.
And we are building this.
As the city's first ever military veteran liaison, Hall will work to connect veterans with one another and with benefits and resources. He says too many veterans are not using them.
In Marion County, it's about $500 million a year that we are not bringing into our community from the Veterans Administration. Just through veterans benefits, just through payments medical assistance, those kind of things.
So that amount of money is what's available, but what veterans are not taking advantage of.
Correct. Yeah.
Why did you decide to do this?
It's been, it's in my DNA.
Hall is a veteran himself who served 30 years in the Army.
It's what we've done. We've always taken care of each other. It goes right down to when you're on a march and somebody's hurt and needs to lighten their load. Everybody shares their load to get going, and so it's ingrained in us to help each other, to make sure that each other are okay, and it doesn't really go away when you leave the military.
One of the challenges for Lawrence this year was youth violence. Sadly, young people and guns too often made headlines. We talked with police about what they're doing to stop it.
Our youth are being, the targets of many of these violent crimes.
For Lawrence Police Chief Curtis Bigsby, the number of young people involved in crime is cause for concern. In December, shots fired in a high school parking lot after a basketball game. Just last week, a student was accused of pointing a gun at another before walking into class. Police say they found it loaded on the seat of his car in the school parking lot. And it's not just here. Across the country, cities have reported an increase in the number of teens arrested for potentially violent crimes. In Indiana last year, 241 juveniles faced charges as adults for their alleged crimes, up 180% from just 2 years ago. Nearly half of those cases came from Marion County. Chief Bigsby says crime knows no boundaries, and it's something all communities need to address.
What really, what the police can do is try to engage the community a lot more. Get involved in, the youth and get involved with our kids in the schools, get involved with them. Even when we're doing crime watch programs, reaching out to the families.
Like a lot of communities, Lawrence has faced a police officer shortage, so we wanted to find out what they're doing to address it and how it's going. Officer Jennifer Highwood has been on the road patrolling the streets of Lawrence for a little less than a year.
I love the ability to help people.
Born and raised here, she's proud to wear the badge in the community she calls home.
To be a voice for people that may not have one, to put bad guys in jail and just keep the streets safe.
But like other communities, keeping the streets safe is a challenge like never before.
Certainly, staffing is a challenge.
Deputy Chief Gary Woodruff says Lawrence is not immune to the need for more officers. While their rule is to always have 6 officers on the street. Do you ever drop below that on a shift?
Can't say we don't, but that's when command staff members, detectives have put on uniforms and come into work.
As departments across the country face hiring challenges, Lawrence, too, has gone from more than 100 responses to a job posting down to sometimes just a few qualified applicants today. So
we have literally changed the way we do our hiring process.
That includes increased starting salaries, plus a $5,000 hiring bonus and $10,000 for experienced officers.
And within a few weeks, once they get acclimated to Lawrence and how we do things here, then we have an officer out there working.
This department emphasizing its diversity and even its new fleet of patrol vehicles. In the last few months, they've successfully recruited experienced officers from 4 nearby communities.
We're closer knit.
Jennifer Highwood is one of them. The hope now to hire more just like her.
When I get up and I put my uniform and my badge on, I have a purpose, and it's to help people and it's to make a difference. And if I can change the life of one person, then I came out here and I did what I intended to do.
And since our original story aired, we've learned Lawrence hired 12 new recruits, including 8 full-time officers. But it takes more than police officers, of course, to make a community safe. And that's where a new program this year comes in that needs your help.
And then you can see his flashlight.
When it comes to solving crimes,
they are on foot.
Police say these eyes are crucial.
As they say, a picture is worth 1,000 words.
Lawrence Police Commander Tracy Cantrell says surveillance footage offers critical evidence, and not just when the suspect is caught on camera, from vehicle descriptions to license plate numbers and an all-important timeline.
With that video, it gives us a timestamp
to piece the case together. So that's why the department is launching a new program called SafeCam. It allows you as a homeowner or business owner to sign up and let police know you have a camera.
So in the event that a crime occurs in that area, we have the ability to come and reach out to you and say, hey, Is there a possibility that we can look at your camera system?
A database that can save time for detectives who can quickly find out if a camera was near a crime. Cantrell says police are not able to automatically tap into them.
We do not have the ability to tap into anyone's system. We come and say, hey, there's an incident that occurred. We see that you have a camera. We see that you have the ability to potentially help us solve a case.
Another tool, police say, to serve and protect.
To help the detectives and also to help the community solve these crimes faster.
Our next story takes us to a laundromat on the city's south side. And while there's a whole lot of laundry going on there, on Tuesdays, the goal is to help change lives. Every Tuesday morning at the Post Road Laundromat, the line forms early.
They be out here like 6 in the morning.
Neighbors thankful not just for these washing machines, but for the many hands that are here to do it.
Want to pick one in? Oh, it's way up here.
We're doing the laundry for all the people that come by, and it's free.
What began 5 years ago as a small church ministry has grown into quite the operation. It is organized chaos.
We get a lot of laundry done in a short period of time.
Each week, volunteers like George Bultman help about 50 families in a few hours. When you count mom, dad, and kids,
yay!
That means clean clothes for well over 100 neighbors in need, many who don't speak English.
These are all full, Yanos, okay?
We do a lot of things with pantomime, but it works.
It works for Robert Earl.
This place helped a whole lot.
Who's been coming here from the beginning.
When you have them clean clothes and everything, you be proud about yourself.
And this Tuesday morning mission work has evolved into a full-fledged nonprofit called Laundry and More.
If people are living in poverty and need help with the laundry, they probably have a lot of other needs too.
The more is all of this.
We're here to feed people.
A meal plus resources for healthcare, housing, and jobs.
And then hit this button. Yes!
A community filling a need. And they say they've only just begun.
Oh, we want this Laundry and More to go on forever. It's not going to stop.
So inspiring to see Laundry and More growing as much as it is. All right, Lawrence is home to one of Central Indiana's largest school districts. So we spent a lot of time inside Lawrence Township schools over the past year. And one of the really cool things we got to see is a new way of learning for some students, and it's clearly making a difference.
So this is our makerspace.
Inside Winding Ridge Elementary School in Lawrence Township, Principal Rose Graham is showing off one of her favorite new spaces for students to learn.
And look at the smiles on their faces, you know.
It may look like playtime, and Graham says that's the beauty of it.
They're engaged, and that's what it's all about, in creating an environment where they're engaged and they're wanting to learn more and do more.
In the Makers Lab, these sixth graders are focusing on science, technology, and engineering, in-demand jobs of the future.
It starts here in elementary, so I think it's very important for them to be able to be exposed to these things so that as they get to middle school, high school, they have a mindset of where they want to go.
We make Legos.
Today, students are coding systems that allow these robots to move. This looks fun, guys.
Yep, we're just battling right now.
They also apply what they learn here to the classroom. Skills like problem solving and teamwork. And Graham says all of it comes together to prepare them for college or a career.
But we want to just kind of just accelerate them and open doors for them that they may not even know exist for them.
Because for Graham, educating students is about more than teaching. It's also about inspiring and encouraging, which is why she prefers to call them scholars.
We see you for who you are. You are a scholar, and you're going to excel and you're going to achieve any and everything you set your mind to.
And we've got to give a shout out to the Lawrence Central girls basketball team. They won the Class 4A state title this year for the first time in school history. They were on cloud 9 when we talked with them earlier this year. And the players, they're proud of their coach. Janet Lampley is the first black female coach to win an IHSAA girls basketball state championship. This is a lot of hardware.
It is.
Coach Janet Lampley is proud to show off just how hard her players have worked this season.
That's it. It is it.
Especially the title of all titles.
Indiana definitely does it big.
And in a state known for basketball, it doesn't get any bigger than this.
And the Lawrence Central Bears with a 19-0 run.
Over the weekend, the Lawrence Central Lady Bears beat Lake Central in the 4A title game.
That was an unbelievably impressive performance.
The first girls' state basketball title in school history.
She'll throw it up at the buzzer.
Just to play in the game was a big deal, with big names in the crowd, even Pacers star Tyrese Halliburton sitting courtside. Today,
how does it feel still 4 days later?
I mean, it's great. Like, we're in the books forever.
It's still sinking in.
Yeah, it's astonishing just making history first time at LC. It feels great. We've been dreaming and wanting this to happen.
For their coach,
I feel like a proud mother.
A season of discipline and laser focus paying off. But Lampley says this biggest ever win on the court is perhaps more importantly a win off the court too.
Our mental sports performance therapist, Austin, came in and he said this championship has re-energized this school. For the community, it's something to be proud of.
And her players are proud of her for being a trailblazer.
She's amazing.
What a job you've done here in just 2 years.
Lampley is the first African-American female coach to win an IHSAA girls basketball state championship.
We're still knocking down barriers, showing young girls that you can do this too. Even when they say it's impossible, it's only impossible until someone does it.
She did it, and they did it. Now they all hope to do it again.
People love seeing good kids do well.
There isn't a traditional downtown Lawrence, but locals will tell you there is a heart and soul, and its story is still being written.
We're really trying to make this the heart now of Lawrence.
Near the corner of one of the busiest intersections in Lawrence, this open field is about to be home to something much bigger.
It's a beautiful 5-story building.
Appropriately named The Benjamin, the $78 million project will include more than 220 luxury apartments, 24,000 square feet of retail space for boutique shops and restaurants, and parking too.
This is where it's going to go?
This is where it's going to go.
Heather Milliken is the executive director of the Fort Harrison Reuse Authority, the group that's been redeveloping all of this land since the Army base closed in the mid-90s.
Basically, we can use it as almost a gateway because you'll be able to see this thing when it's done, probably coming in from every entry point of the fort.
The Benjamin is the latest and largest project in Fort Bend history. Since the military closed about 30 years ago, the community has been working to redevelop these hundreds of acres into a place where people can live, work, and play.
It could have been a disaster when the Army left, but a great group came together and said, you know, this is what we need to do.
Reusing much of the old, but adding in a whole lot of new, including townhomes, shops, an arts district, and a state park, all within walking distance. There's also an Ivy Tech campus, public library, and YMCA.
This is still up for grabs.
Today, there are just 8 parcels of land left.
We're excited for the future. I'm working myself out of a job, and I hate that, but I also love what's happened. You know, I'm a Lawrence girl. I grew up in Lawrence, just down the street, and remember it was an Army installation. And what we've done with the land and buildings, I think we all are very proud of.
Right now, work is underway to finish a new trail extension in Lawrence to connect neighborhoods and the city. Paving started over the summer on the trail along Lee Road from 59th Street to 63rd and then over to Winona Lane. The extension is just over a mile long and was made possible by several grants. Here's why this is such a big deal for Lawrence. Last fall, we talked with the head of a group called Indy's Urban Wilderness, who told us Lawrence needs to be more walkable. This new trail will connect to the existing Fall Creek Greenway, which runs over 14 miles from downtown Indy to Fort Harrison State Park. Also here at Fort Bend is a popular shop that's more than just a place to get frozen treats. It's a growing reminder to give back to your community and always keep smiling.
Our nonprofit is called Maddie Smiles. We started that after my daughter Maddie passed away.
We first introduced you to Paula Strauss and her daughter Lacey in 2021 as they spread smiles across Lawrence with their trailer full of frozen treats.
We're able to talk about Maddie, make sure that she's not forgotten.
Maddie was born with special needs and died at 19 after complications from surgery.
It's a way that we're able to talk about Maddie and spread her smile and her kindness.
Maddie, known as Moo, her sister Lacey, Lou, and it didn't take long for Moo and Lou's to really take off. So much so that 3 years later,
feels like a dream a little bit.
they've traded the truck and trailer for brick and mortar.
Never really thought we'd be running an ice cream shop.
Today, Moo and Lou's is open for business with the same mission in mind.
When people come in the door, they're like,
We're just honoring my sister's legacy and trying to spread her smile, and that's through frozen treats and an uplifting atmosphere.
Bright colors, comfy couches, and reminders everywhere to be kind.
I had no idea this was in our future.
But parents Dave and Paula say it means everything.
As a dad, I can't be more proud of the growth I've seen with Lacey, Lou, and my wife. I mean, they carry the Moo and Lou.
The treats will cost you, but the miles of smiles are free.
To be able to keep Maddie's smile alive and sharing it with everyone is very special.
Our next story is about some unlikely groups of people working together to solve a long-term problem. It involves skaters, city government, and art. For Casper Jones, what do you like about skating?
Everything.
Skating is life.
It's like therapy.
So he noticed how run down the Lawrence skate park had gotten.
The park was neglected for way too long.
But when he rolled in one day this summer and saw a giant slur had been painted here, he'd finally seen enough.
That kind of just told me it was the last straw.
So Casper decided to do something about it. He left the skate park here and headed to City Hall, straight to the Parks Department.
Most people just complain.
But Parks Director Eric Martin says Casper came with a vision.
They're going to actually bring some artists in to do the graffiti art.
From ugly and offensive to beautiful and inspiring.
The project is making this park beautiful, to make sure people have pride in it, to take care of it.
The city's paying for the paint and materials. Casper and the others are doing the work. It's a lot of work.
Yeah, but we love our parks, so that's why we want to do it.
I've divvied it up into different, like 10 to 14 foot panels.
Working with local artist Rob Bentley, who's bringing in 18 other artists to cover every inch.
Every elevated surface in this park is going to be painted.
And then right in the middle of the park, we're doing the Seal of Lawrence. We're making sure we involve the city's goodwill and everything.
They may run in different circles.
I hurt just thinking about it.
But their mission is the same.
I mean, it's about bringing the community together. The city's given us something big, we better take care of it.
Our final story is truly one of my favorites. It highlights the cultural melting pot that is this community, and it's a whole lot of fun. Along Pendleton Pike, among the fast food restaurants, big box stores, and gas stations,
the German cafe is just completely different.
Jürgen Jungbauer, affectionately known as JJ,
the most famous one is obviously the Black Forest cake here,
has made it his mission for half a century to bring a slice of Germany to Lawrence.
We make over 300 different pastries.
It is quite the slice.
My store, believe me, is overwhelming.
JJ opened the doors of the Heidelberg House in 1968. After emigrating to the U.S. and serving in the Army as a pastry chef, he left Fort Benjamin Harrison but stayed in Lawrence, and ever since,
we are like 5 stores in one.
He's kept on building.
We are a bakery, we are a little bit of restaurant, a little cafe, we are a little grocery.
And gift shop.
The store is almost like I'm guessing what looks inside his brain. Just so much going on, you know.
1, 2, Sofa.
800 steins, plus aisles and aisles and aisles of anything and everything German.
All those antiques I brought back from Germany.
And gnomes.
They bring you good luck to any home.
So many gnomes. How many gnomes do you think you have in here?
Oh, about 400.
400?
Uh-huh. Actually, I wanted the Lawrence to be famous for gnomes. Carmel is famous for the roundabouts, you know, but the city fathers haven't catched on yet.
He is kind of the essence of, you know, all of it.
His daughter and son-in-law now run things, but at 80 years old, JJ is still here.
There we are.
And while he's had offers over the years,
everybody wants me to move to Carmel and to Fisher and to the airport and here and there and everywhere. And then lodge and stuff. And I said, no, we're just fine here.
He's perfectly content to keep Lawrence the home of the gnome.
I just love it.
Who knew Lawrence was Central Indiana's home of the gnome? Love it. We certainly hope you've enjoyed this inside look at Lawrence. I'm Dustin Grove. For all of us at 13 News, thanks for watching. We'll see you around.